All right, welcome to Vibe Osmosis, man. How you doing today?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Enjoying the free Wi-Fi and I guess like
Got free Wi-Fi.
city weather. It was like rainy all day, and now the sun comes out finally as I decided to do some internet stuff.
Nice. You're fucking sick.
So go ahead and introduce yourself and what you do, man.
I'm Jude Leal. I make music part-time. Have a lot of fun doing that. I started a long time ago. I just decided to put out an album this year, and I want to start playing shows. Those are my big
Wait, so
ambitions right now.
you have this music in mind to play live?
Yeah, I write a lot of my songs that way to be played live,
Nice.
so I don't experiment quite as much like with sounds as I want to. But right now, it's just keeping a live band in mind.
So what are some music inspirations behind what you do?
Let me think. Obviously, Ariel, R. Stevie. Right now, it's a lot of Yellow Magic Orchestra.
Oh,
Yeah, tons of stuff. I don't know. We can talk music all day.
and how long have you been making music?
Uh, 2017, I think I got FL Studio. I would have been 14. So around then, I started making beats, and then I got my first guitar when I was 16. Got a relative's little digital recorder, 8-track, and that's when I started around 16.
Okay, so what was your first instrument?
Guitar, some piano. I always had a piano, but I never got very good at it. A lot of
Were you
noises.
self-taught?
Yeah, I've had a couple teachers more recently with guitar and piano, but mostly self-taught.
So this is a funny, good, new Vibe Osmosis question. If you were a vegetable, what vegetable would you be and why?
I was a vegetable. Probably an eggplant, swollen, purple, gross, green hair. Yeah,
At least they taste good.
it tastes pretty good. You can fry it up, make a eggplant parmesan.
So do you have like a nickname?
I've tried different stuff. Beelzebub is one. Uh, what else? I have some old email I used, but it's not much of a nickname. It was Keenery Bone Records. Keenery Bone was my email for a long time.
So whenever you got into recording, before you didn't have like a tape recorder before you were starting on DAW?
I started on DAW, yeah. There's some stuff you can find on SoundCloud, and like I have some stuff on YouTube that's privated, but it was mostly MF Doom type beat, like really shitty FL sound font stuff. It was fun,
So
but
so in the beginning stages of like recording, like what did you use to start? Like how'd you start a song?
how did I start a song? A riff. It'd be like play the G chord, D chord, whatever, and it would just keep doing that. I mean, if we're talking about the stuff on the DAW, it would be basically I'd pick the instruments first, like what the vibe I was going to go for, and then the DAW is cool because you can do it one bar at a time, and when you have no clue what you're doing, you can just like feel it out. So I'd end up with these crazy beats. I don't know a better way to put it. It was just I was always inspired by the orchestral type beat. And it sounded like the Thomas Jefferson type beat shit.
Nice. Okay.
It sounded like that. Um, and then once I started playing with the guitar and keyboards and stuff, it was more. I was really into Ariel at the time, so I thought it was basically make something sound really fucked up, but like in the context of a catchy song. That's always been the biggest thing, is just if it's catchy, I'll keep going with it. And I'll send you some stuff, but some early stuff you might think is kind of cool. Yeah.
So, like, whenever you started working on this recent album that you have out, what determined what made it on it and what didn't make it?
The way I record things, I'll know it's a good song after the fact because I made 3 or 4 versions of that song. So if it was worth keeping, there's a bunch of other stuff. Like there's a bunch of other versions, and that's if I was willing to keep redoing it until I got it the way I wanted it to be. That's how I could tell it was worth putting on the album. And then there's stuff that just didn't match the vibe, so use it later down the line because the song's never really done, I guess,
And in terms, I guess, of New Egypt, how'd you come up with the term or the title?
The title, well, I recently moved to New Jersey, and I always see it on the map, on the Google Maps. It's just a town somewhere in the middle of nowhere, but I thought it was a cool name. Like a futuristic, and the one song, the Beneath the Sand, there's kind of a Middle Eastern vibe. That's always, I don't know if you're like this too. Location's a big inspiration for me. I think of a lot of the sounds and stuff in terms of where it sounds like it's from, if you know what I mean. Like
Definitely.
that's the vibe that I focus on the most, I guess. I'm the most inspired by it.
So this is kind of going back to your music as well. Like with this like sound and project, like did you have like everything recorded on the same stuff?
Yeah, all the songs for this album were on the Tascam. I have the 488 Mark II, just a little 8-track.
Okay.
I bought that August 2023.
All right. And so like with this, like you're going back to like the same tape and then trying to find out like what's the best version in your track.
Yeah, like I can come back to songs months and months after the fact, but yeah, I'd listen to the song. Yeah, give me a second. I'm thinking.
You're fine.
So I'd listen to it. If I like the version, I'd transfer it, but if not, I'd let it sit there, come back to it. There's a bunch of stuff that was good enough to be on the album. I never finished it. So it's just, you can always, I'm sure you can come back to songs depending on how formal the release is, Like it's.
I definitely agree. I was kind of wondering, like, whenever it comes like to mixing and mastering, is that something that you're doing like as you find out like how it should sound in the moment, or do you go back and like mix and master it to like have a different vibe or feel?
The 8-track helps with that. It's so limited, and the way I've been, as far as mastering, I have no clue what I'm doing. I assume people do that in the DAW after the fact, but with the mixing,
Yeah, right.
there's just sounds that get buried. You want them to be here, heard. You don't want to leave anything out, but part of the fun of music is that that stuff kind of it adds to the song whether or not you can actually hear it. So there's lots of different mixes that you can make from the same song. And those are just the ones that either most recent or most convenient to put to send and what sounded the best, especially towards the end when I was put them all on the same Logic track and listen to the transitions, trying to get that right. So that was the last step.
So, what was like the most interesting part about this transition to New Jersey then?
The weather's nicer. People aren't as nice. I think it's the most interesting thing is around the same time as when Ashton moved to Seattle, and now I'm in Jersey, and you're in Seattle, and you were interviewing
From Texas?
Yeah, I'm from Texas. So I moved out here, and it just so happened that Dust Function lives out here too. He's like an hour away from me, so that's the best part. I guess that there was still someone I could do stuff with even after Ash left, and we're on opposite coasts.
Yeah, so this is also one thing about like the different music culture from Texas to like the East Coast. Do you definitely feel like it affects the way that you work when you're in music too? Your environment?
Yeah, the environment changes a lot. I'm in a peculiar situation because I did not realize how rural the area I'm in is. So it's like, it's very similar to Texas in that way, but New York City is like 3 hours away. Philadelphia is an hour away. There's all these big hubs, and you can visit and get the vibes, the energy, feel it, and go home, and it's not much different from where I was originally, I guess.
Whenever I was living in West Philly with my sister, like going to Brooklyn was like an hour and a half or so away.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't that bad of like taking the trip out to the city and seeing like what the city was like, but also during that time it was pretty cold and everything, so it's kind of fuck, you know. It's like not the full experience, you know.
How long did you live in Philly?
Oh, like 6 or 7, maybe 8 months.
That's cool.
So here's a fun question. If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be? And do you have an idea about what your costume would look like?
Probably it'd be like some Casper superhero type guy, like a ghost.
Any Phantom?
Yeah, some shit like that. But it wouldn't be like a physical superpower. It'd be like you can haunt your enemies' dreams and drive them to whatever.
Pretty deep and
You
sad.
can do whatever you want.
Yeah. That's really clever. That's a new superpower. That's like some mutant shit.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of like The Boys? Do you ever watch any of that or superhero movies?
The Boys. No. Honestly, I didn't know that was a superhero show. I thought it was something else, but I saw the Avengers when they were coming out. I guess I was in high school when the last one came out.
Are you going to see this new Hawk film?
I'd say no. I don't know. Probably not.
Or have you watched anything good lately?
Anything good? Since I'm in Jersey, I started the Sopranos. That's really fun.
Have you finished it yet?
Mm-mm.
Nice.
Well,
You
early
want
on.
to ride?
Uh, it's a lot of YouTube over here.
Yeah, I'm a fan of YouTube myself. Oh yeah, so if you could swap lives with like a cartoon character of your choice, who would you choose for a day?
Cartoon character. What's that? No clue why. I guess right now it's all I can think of. Rocco for Rocco's Modern Life. His image just popped to my head. I don't know what he does or what his life would be like, but I'm down to check it out.
All right, so what are some like top favorite films of yours?
Films.
Media.
Uh, Mishimo is a really good movie. I saw that a few months ago. The Shining, Gummo is one of my favorites. A lot of Harmony Korine stuff.
Have you ever been to Ohio?
No, I have not been to Ohio. It's only a few hours away. I need to check it out.
You should go to Ohio. Xenia is interesting. Feels desolate and desperate.
Xenia. Yeah. I have been to Nashville where that was filmed though.
All right, nice.
And then
Been to Nashville a lot.
what obviously you can cut this out, but what's your background like moving? Where have you lived and stuff?
Oh, I've lived in a lot of places.
How old are you?
I'm 28. How old are you, man?
21.
Yeah, you see, I've lived in a lot of places by the time I was 21. I graduated at 17 and I was trying to hit the road and do everything the moment I could. And
Nice.
sometimes I'm glad I did it before COVID, but like I definitely missed out on some formal years of fucking around trying to do bullshit of everything.
Yeah. I don't know.
But before COVID life was just something else, so I just like am kind of glad I was there for it, you know?
Yeah, I know. I was a junior in high school when that happened and kind of clipped my wings a little bit for a
Yeah,
little while.
for the youngsters that had to live during COVID times, I'm kind of like, I don't know what I would do with myself either. Like, by far, I've seen that there was a difference in society after the fact. But
For sure.
music wise, I feel like it's also pushed a lot of musicians to like do stuff that's like different and outside of the norm, other than the stereotypical thing that was happening that was like kind of like mainstream popish, and then like going to the
Yeah.
shows and playing like the same song twice if it was like a hit.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of that from bands that like broke through on the radio, and I was kind of like, oh, I kind of expected more out of your set.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh, yeah,
We
so also with like your music and planning to play live, what's like your setup? Do you have like a crew, people that you work with or anything right now, or you have like a one man band thing right now?
well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I have one show in April.
Great.
This
Where's it at?
uh just a house venue. It's like an acoustic set for so I'll do that with Jake. Hopefully some of his friends can help out. We don't really
Very
have
New
a
Jersey.
what's that?
So very New Jersey and
Yeah. The yeah, we're not too tapped into the scene. Uh I guess that's a big goal. Just go to Philly more, meet more interesting musicians that can help out, or even just playing in other bands seems like it would be fun. I don't know what your propensity, what you're good at with the music and stuff, but do you play with a lot of other people?
so like in my younger days, it was kind of like a jam band situation. I would set up like a facilitate like I had like a music shed dedicated to music. So I had like keyboards and drums and like amps and everything like that. And it'd just be like all my friends that did music that I met during band class essentially. And then like just from there it was just kind of like they had bands and they had bands of introduced
Mhm.
their friends that like they were playing gigs and stuff like that. So I was just kind of like following the music for a while.
Yeah.
And then I kind of realized, well, everyone's doing this and that and this and that, and I wasn't really taking the time to like do my own thing. And so then I kind of like just like broke apart and just kind of like focused on like buying music gear and
Oh
playing,
yeah.
recording and stuff like that, you know. Um, have you ever played a show yet for the Jude Leal stuff?
No, I helped Jake with one. I've done some other stuff on stage, but not solo. No.
So here's a fun question. What's your favorite part about recording music?
Uh, I guess the whole thing when I'm in the mood. Recently, it's been a big,
Writer's block?
yeah, some writer's block. I don't
Yeah.
know what I'm going for, or maybe I think I'm just not. I haven't been experimenting enough. I think that's been the
So
thing.
I found in myself that I can only work on music if I'm depressed, angry, or in love. So
Yeah,
three emotions, and I feel like that really says something about yourself if you have like a certain kind of mood about what kind of music you want to make.
yeah,
You know, but like I guess like jamming with like Ash and like Dale and everybody like kind of puts me in like a headspace of like, oh well, I can do this and I can do that, or I can just like focus on like just playing an instrument and seeing how that fits and plays, and you know if we create a song out of that or not, you know. So there's like some things where I'm like, well, I should like tap into, I guess like different aspects of than just like singer songwriter stuff. Here's a fun question then. So it's a classic Vibe Osmosis question. You know, if you had a time machine, would you go forwards or backwards?
uh, really like history. I mean, it's all interesting to me. But if I had the choice, probably the future. Yeah, I'd like to see how things ended up here. What's going on?
Oh, it ended up here. So,
Yeah.
are you a spiritual person then?
Uh, More or less. I That's always been a weird subject for me. My background's I'm interested in spirituality. I've never been touched, I guess, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
I haven't. I've always been.
I haven't seen the light.
Haven't seen light. No, and part of it's just I was always. Well, I'll tell you. I was about 12 years old, and I discovered atheist YouTube, and I think that kind of fucked me up. I was a hardcore atheist in the 6th grade, and I would debate kids about the existence of God. So it's always been that super logical.
It's kind of funny because like I grew up really religious with my family in Ohio, and then like as I grew up more and more, I found out like other information about like, other religions and other timelines and stuff. And I did ask my own dad. He's like still, you know, super religious, and he was like, I don't believe in like anybody's science behind like time frames that's in the existence of Earth. I just like I think all that is still based on theory. Nobody exactly really knows about anything about
Yeah,
the truth about what happened and where and when and the existence of like evolution and all this stuff. And I was like, damn, that kind of puts me into perspective of like how whenever you grow up you're like expecting people to know stuff, you know,
yeah,
and like they literally are maybe
and
just as
yes,
human as you of like, oh, like I don't have everything figured out, but like I'm, you know, trying to do the right thing or the best I can or whatever. And you're like, guess that's like the human condition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big, just a big issue in general. Where like in everything, like it's obviously perpetuated by the social medias or whatever. Like, you think everyone's got it figured out, or they have their, uh, but that's
Yeah,
more,
the way to like whatever is a higher kingdom in their life or whatever. I don't know, but I just
yeah, but
kind of
they're
like
just better
more
at
to like human.
the presentation. Yeah.
Yeah, some people don't want to have a good burger, and some people definitely prefer to have a burger. So here's a good question for you: what would your ultimate last meal be?
Uh, I think I love Thai curry, right? Penang curry, uh, a cannoli. I love
Yeah, goes in.
um, Philly cheesesteak if we're over near Philly. Uh, Shit, I don't know. Some candies, Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, the Sour Patch Kids. You know, whenever I was flying back from Ohio, my mom gives me like two options of like candies. It was like either Junior Mints or Sour Patch Kids. I'm like, I'll go for Sour Patch Kids. Like Junior Mints is not gonna last long. Like,
Yeah.
something like you gotta like I think you gotta put that shit in the freezer. Honestly.
And Sour Patch Kids can last forever.
All right, so what's some of your ultimate favorite songs, favorite artists, or bands, or records that you'd want to shout out?
Uh, let's see. I mentioned Yellow Magic Orchestra earlier, the song Tong Poo. I've been listening to that a bunch. Uh, of Montreal's The Gay Parade was one of the first albums that really made me want to start making music, doing stuff.
Yeah, their documentary is amazing.
I need to watch it again. It's been a really long time.
Yeah, watching it for the first time with Ash, I was like, damn, this is actually so. I mean, I knew about the band, but there's some
Yeah,
bands whenever you just know the music without knowing like anything
anything.
else, you know? And that one just opened up the doors for me.
Yeah, you gotta check.
Super inspirational.
Uh, who else? Always want to check my phone. The um, look, obviously Ariel Pink Scared Famous.
Oh, sick.
It was
That's
my
one.
number one for a long, long time. I've been listening to a lot of Pat and Feeney, more jazz shit.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of stuff.
Yeah. All right. So, whenever it comes to working on your own music, is there something that you use to start with, or like do you kind of go off of like percussion and try to find out what fits in between, or do you have like melodies and lyrics in mind and try to find out how to write a song? What's your process?
Process. A lot of just all of a melody. I'll play that on a keyboard or guitar, figure out what the chords would be, and then from there maybe see how the bass would fit. And that I try to do it one section at a time. If I have more than one, that's really good luck, and I'll be very happy about that. But uh, yeah, usually just around the melody. I've been trying to do less, like, straightforward. Have a guitar, have a song, like the melody, words, whatever.
Try to do less of it.
What's that? Yeah, well, I'm trying to change my process a little bit because it gets a little repetitive, at least for me on my end. I'm just kind of tired of that, so I want to try other stuff. My percussion skills are limited. I got Ash's old 505. I've been using that for the drums recently. It's literally whatever I can get to make a drum noise, I'll use.
Oh yeah, here's a classic Vibe Osmosis question. If you were stranded on an island, but you could only take one thing with you, what would you bring?
Mm, Probably just a big ass bag of kratom and end it that way.
Oh yeah, so maybe tell like a crazy experience you've had, ever in life.
Ever? Uh,
If you
I need to
have.
think. How about you tell me one and I'll think of one.
I'll say, let's say one. Let's say one might be for me is whenever I was on a lot of LSD actually, and I got pulled over with my friend Matt Hurth, and we were like right across the prison yard, and we totally had drugs on us, and we were totally high on drugs, and the officer was like, "Are you guys doing drugs over across the fence?" And we're like, I was like, "No, it's not us. It's definitely not me. Like my dad, I live right across the street. My dad, he works at the prison. Like we're totally cool, man. We're just trying to pass through, man." And like I was just like sick a bunch and like just like super anxious and like jittery and like.
Yeah.
And my friend was just kept on looking over at me like, "Dude, shut the fuck up. Like don't say anything, man. Like don't say anything, dude."
Cool, yeah.
He knew the lesson or knew the word to like don't talk to cops, and I was just over here like going hard, like just couldn't help myself. And then we got out of the situation somehow, so that was a crazy situation. That was crazy.
Uh, yeah. I have some drug stories. I guess there's one. The first time I ever did a dab pin with some of my friends, I hit a dab pin. I was just, I was shaking like a dog. I like, it knocked me out, and I was like, just laying down.
Yeah, vibrating and stuff.
Yeah. And then,
That's totally happened to me too.
I tried, when I tried acid for the first time, nothing really crazy happened, but we were in a fast food parking lot. It was just me and my friends, and everyone else was sober. It was like 3 other guys that were sober, and then 2 of us that were on acid. And then
Yeah,
you remember Badussi, that meme from
definitely.
someone said that shit, and then it just hit at that moment, the gigglies, and we were laughing for 20 minutes straight. So just that word was so ridiculous to us.
Yeah, that's actually one of the best things about taking psychedelics. It can kind of like unlock something where you're able to enjoy it where you typically wouldn't enjoy it as
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I definitely think like with humor, like whenever I guess like there's a time whenever you realize like, oh well, maybe I have been like maybe more a stickler about things, and like you take psychedelics and you realize like things are kind of cool, you know.
Yeah, you can just chill out.
With music, have you ever tried and play music or worked on music?
Uh, no, because when I was doing a lot of that, I wasn't really. It was never with any of my musician friends, and even then, they weren't really into what I was doing or what I was into. So it's been an uphill battle with that kind of stuff. And obviously, I've tried when I'm stoned to write stuff, but it just makes me too lazy, and I just end up watching some shit or something. So I'm, for the most part, don't do a lot of drugs. I like uppers, if anything. I mean, those are fun to work on stuff with.
Yeah, I think they're all fun to work with.
I
Have fun.
need to try the psychedelics though. That'd probably be helpful.
Yeah. Okay. So here's a good question. What's your favorite song on the record?
On mine, I really like the My Girl, the first one. That was really fun. I like the way that one just came together really good. I like the way
This
it
one,
all.
it's a hitter.
I just like the way the arrangement turned out. I think it's there. That one worked in a bunch of different ways. That's one I had so many versions of, and I decided on that one. But there's a really pretty piano version of that one. And then I like the one I made with Ashton, the one with the weird title.
Yeah.
Uh, it was unfinished, but it's the only song where I've gotten that really eerie, um, just a really eerie kind of vibe from. It's very, I don't know, it kind of freaks me out when I listen to it.
Outside
And,
is still alone.
uh,
It's got like its own instrumental weirdness.
the Ashla, say Ma, whatever,
Yeah.
that one. And I really like Greener Pastures. That was from around the same time as My Girl. And everyone really likes Windy Night. That one, that's the newest one. I recorded that a couple months ago.
Oh, sick. That's it. Yeah, I guess it really ties it all together with all these different tracks that you have. I was kind of
Yeah.
wondering what was one of the ones that like stuck out to you. I think also the opener is
Yeah. And
a really good start. It makes you listen to the rest of it for the people tuning in.
and
So
then the outro is really something. It's pretty.
also like with like your past albums that you said that you've recorded, what made you oh yeah, probably because the show's happening. Um, what made you choose to like focus on only New Egypt?
Uh, I wanted a fresh start. The older stuff was it was all done on FL Studio in Ableton. I had Ableton for a little bit on the old computer, but it just, I think my sound changed a lot. It was very amateurish and not in a cool way, just in a this sounds like trash kind of way. The really early stuff that was on the digital 8 track has more merit than the stuff that was coming out between like around 2020, 2021. But I think a big part of it's just the recording process and what I could get away with recording on.
It's funny because I feel like the stuff that I was doing whenever I was in high school was some of the best stuff that I was doing ever, but I recorded it so shittily and
Yeah.
barely recorded it proper the way that I wanted to. So it kind of was like that's an error that's like just not existent. But then I look forward to the stuff I did after, then I was like, ah, well, that stuff, it was of the time, but maybe
Yeah.
I doesn't maybe feel like it's the test of time.
Yeah.
And now, now I feel like, oh, well, maybe I'm doing the test of time, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's all just what it means to you. I think at the end of the day, like if it's a bad time in your life when that stuff happened, you're not gonna like it so much after the fact, you know. If you like, I don't know, it can remind you of that and take you back there. And if you don't want to do that at the moment, you probably don't want other people. I mean, people can just tell where you're at.
Vibe Osmosis.
Yeah, so some of the few questions that I have is like, you know, um, the Jude Leal, is that your actual name? Do you know what your name means?
Yeah. Uh, I know what the two separate names mean. But Jude just means praise, and then Leal just means loyal.
Oh yeah. Do you know
Yeah.
who does that?
What's that?
Do you know what they chose that?
Well, first name was the Beatles song. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you a Beatles fan yourself?
Yeah, I love the Beatles. They were
Oh, fuck you.
the first band I ever
Oh, fuck.
fell. Do you?
Yeah, they got some good stuff.
Yeah, pretty cool.
All right, so do you have any pets?
Any pets? Not personally. I mean, I live at home. There's two cats and a dog. We have a black cat and a white cat and then a golden retriever dog.
Okay.
Uh,
Are you more of a dog person or a cat person, man?
I didn't really appreciate cats till a few years ago, but I really like cats more in some ways. Recently, they've been more of my vibe. They're a lot chiller.
So, do you believe in astrology?
Astrology, there's good stuff in there. I don't know if I necessarily believe everything about it. I'm an Aries.
So, like the stuff that they say about Aries or whatever, do you feel like it resonates with you, or do you feel like it just doesn't actually add to your character?
I'm pretty chill for an Aries. That's always been the
Comes back.
pretty. I can be stubborn and yes, kind of a go-getter, but it doesn't really define me in the same way.
I kind of agree with like what they say. Like, I mean, I don't think like I am aligned with my astrology sign per se, but I feel like some of the stuff that they say, it's like reading coincidences in a book, and you're like,
Yeah.
I don't know how they would know this besides random psychology breakdowns of like various vast people. I don't know.
Yeah,
Do you have an ultimate favorite song?
ultimate. I want to say, let's go for the easy one. "Girl in a Tree" by Ariel Pink. I really.
All
It's
right,
always
this song, I'm a big fan of this record, but like this song, Whenever I first heard it too, I was thinking, man, the piano stuff is so weird and cool, and like it's like catchy, but also like misplaced at certain times. But
Yeah,
the more I had that CD in my car, like growing up and like to like 16, like driving around and like getting to listen to, it, and I was like kind of like, wow, this is one of like my favorite tracks on the record too. It's just like going to this one and be like, wow, like it sets like its own new tone and new vibe, even though like it feels
yeah,
I don't know, like you wouldn't expect this because it's like an older sound too again, you know. Um,
there's
do you
nothing
have
else like it.
yeah, do you have something that like whenever you listen to where you're kind of like, oh, I want to do or create something like that, or do you kind of like in your own music find times where you like, oh, well, this is like what's coming to me and I should like start writing, you know?
Yeah, recently it's been more of the electro pop stuff. I want to do a lot more with keyboards and synthesizer. It's always been really big in the hypnagogic, whatever.
I
Like
love
just
that stuff.
yeah, it's always been the go-to. But I want to do some of the more like less structured pop, more like of the nebulous, like where it sets the scene, like like longer stuff, I guess, like takes you on an adventure, I guess. I don't even know if I want to do lyrics or anything. I just want to do a lot of instrumental stuff.
What was your first concert? Do you know?
Yeah, Arcade Fire, if you know that band.
Yeah, I've seen them live too.
Yeah, I saw them.
I seen them on a DXM trip.
How was that?
I seen everybody's spirits lift up into the skies.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was I was 10 years old. My parents really liked them, so we went to Austin. And because we wore costumes, it was like a Halloween show. We got to go to the front little pit, which was really cool. And
amazing.
I don't know. I was going through a weird time back then. I really was, yeah, I was 10, but I really thought I was gay. And they had a song about being gay, and I was thinking about coming out. I'm glad I didn't do that, but
I think everybody is in some way.
yeah, it was just coming over me. Back.
I mean, I don't maybe like understand if people don't understand that they're like actually pansexual and they don't know it, but that's just me too.
Yeah, I mean, it's what you're open to.
So, what do you think is a guilty pleasure? Do you have one?
Guilty pleasure. Just shitty food. I don't know. Pretty basic, but
It'd be like what kind of Chinese chitty chicken?
yeah, chili chicken. Whoa, egg whoa. Yeah, just the really fatty, the curries, like I was saying, pad thai, shit like that.
I would say some curries are just great for you, though. But I really mean maybe not like if you're spicing it up every time.
Yeah.
What's your favorite dessert? Do you have one?
It was part of my last meal. I'd say right now it's the cannoli.
Oh, so what do you think about red velvet? Are you a fan?
Red velvet. I'm a fan.
Do you think that it's a myth?
Yeah, it's just vanilla and chocolate mixed together with some
Don't,
food dye.
don't believe them.
I had so much. I don't know. I had so many shitty box cake red velvet that I never go for it, but it can be good.
I'm like, it's just like with grandma's cookies. Those bitches are made with love. You never know what that fucking bitch made in that, you know. It's like, don't believe the recipe.
Shit.
But there is some red velvet stuff I've tried where I've been very disappointed. Do you have like a random fact about yourself that people wouldn't know? Do you have an answer for that one?
Random fact. before I lived in Texas, which was most of my life. I lived in Georgia when I was a little kid, around Atlanta. That's a little fact.
I learned about a cult out there.
What's that?
I said I learned about a cult out there. This guy that had an Egyptian pyramid, actually, he was like saying that he was an ancient Egyptian and reincarnation, and that he was here to like tell people how to live. And he has a crazy cult story, and he has made himself to Georgia by somehow. He was like building structures that people were like, you got to take down. And he was like, "Fuck you! I run a cult."
I can do whatever I want. Yeah.
He's like, "I'm a prophet." You ever heard about this?
No.
Oh, nice.
I'll look that up.
So here's a deep one. What's something that you wish people were less afraid of?
Let's think. I guess goes for me too, and this is very white girl TikTok, but just admitting when they're wrong, I guess, is a big one. I think people should be less afraid of.
That's a pretty good idea. What do you think that people would do whenever they're less, or like, I guess they're afraid of nothing then?
What would people do if they were afraid of nothing?
You think they'd do anything?
Well, yeah, it's a big motivator. I guess another one, just on the tag on the first one, is weird people come in all shapes and sizes. Yeah, you can be weird for your environment. It's beyond a physical appearance. I think it's more of a mentality, and I think people shouldn't be afraid of accepting who they are or whatever. Like, you know, just beyond what, like how political that statement has become recently, just with the identity and stuff. I think it's something you have to accept within yourself, and other people will follow.
Yeah, so like, what do you think about how we need fear in our lives, or do you think that we don't need fear in our lives? Same thing with like religion, I guess controlled religion,
yeah,
some form, our government.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of it has to do with your own temperament and upbringing, obviously, but
totally agree.
Some people need to see the bottom before they can climb back up. Like obviously, most people are afraid of being homeless or whatever. So if you've got $50, you're gonna be afraid. There's stuff like that, but some people just have the natural impulse to, I need a lot of money, I need a lot of partners, they're not afraid, but they have the end in mind, like what they're going for innately. And obviously fear is a part of that. Maybe they were poor as a kid or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
But so I don't know. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, so like my dad, like he grew up in Portsmouth, Ohio, so like really close to Kentucky, West Virginia border, and he grew up like in the projects. He was born in 1959, so he's as old as Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
And he was telling me, you know, like since he grew up, you know, poor in the projects, with a big family, he had like 12 brothers and sisters or something, right? And he was like, you know, as I got older and older, I learned that like I, you know, wanted to have like everything and more. and
Yeah.
I to like provide that for my family, etc., and all that stuff. So I was kind of like in a way, kind of like you know get a little inspired, but also seeing that it took a lot to come out of like one product of your environment and enter another one that you would want for yourself or want for your future, etc. Or what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, and I think that plays a big role in a lot of people's stories. It's
But,
just,
but still, yeah, man, I feel like in many cases, I've seen this one thing. They're talking about how like if you give money to somebody who needs it and they spend it on drugs, it's the same thing as like I don't like they were like I don't have like a problem with it, and some people you see they have a problem with it, like I'm not gonna give money because X, Y, and Z, and I was like it's the same thing for like sex. I was like if you
yeah,
give that person sex, yada yada, they don't, then it could make things worse too, and yada yada. And I was like, it's the same thing for everything with pills, medication, stuff that you're instilled with. Like you have like this kind of like, I don't know, need or crave for something that I guess, like what damage it's doing to you, or good or bad,
right.
you know?
Yeah, I think that's all excess. Well, just anything can be done in excess. It doesn't really matter what it is. Obviously, some have more physical implications or health implications, like they'll fuck your life up. I think it's as far as living a good life. I think it's finding those things that you can be addicted to or you love that don't take so much of a toll on you and everybody else around you. And the form
Definitely.
that it's yeah, like the like obviously some people are more prone to being religious. I don't know if it's I don't think it's genetic. It's just some people have brains that are wired differently and they that part's more like you'll know from a young age if you're gonna be like that, like whether it's OCD or just those thoughts, like
Well, I'm trying to understand this myself because if you think about it, natives, they're so in tune with like spirituality and how animals are connected
yeah,
and stuff. So people believe in like spiritual animals and all this. Do you believe you have a spiritual animal?
spiritual animal. I guess since I was young, I said red panda. I like the red panda.
Yeah, that's funny. I have a friend in Austin, Texas that loves that. They love them. Okay, so since you have some songs that just like me about love, etc. Um,
Yeah,
let's talk about a first crush you have.
first cross. Uh, I was a little late to the game.
Uh-oh.
Well, it was like eighth grade when I started crushing on.
That's
Uh,
related to the game.
nah, but I was just like, it was more of a. I finally felt confident enough to even ask.
I
It
knew I
was.
was a horny bastard from the moment I was born. Continue.
Uh, yeah, I, don't- I it's weird being, my age because it's like I just asked her over Snapchat, do you want to be more than friends? Some corny shit like that. And she's like, no. And I was like, oh, okay.
Have you
So
have you ever had to run from the cops?
run from the cops. No, I play it pretty safe. I'm not
Kept it safe out there in the Texas world.
yeah.
Was it actually more country out there than it is where you're at right now, or is it about the same for real?
Country. Uh well, me and Ashton, we both lived in the Metroplex, which is not country at all, but 30 minutes in any direction, you'll be back in the country. More so for me,
That's
I
it.
lived in an old place called, well, if you know Fort Worth, like 20 miles west of there, and it's so many people are moving to Texas that it's just horribly congested. It's what you'd imagine New Jersey or something's like you just can't get around gridlock, all sorts of stuff. But you go 10 minutes that way and it's all ranching territory, all farms, all sorts of stuff. But here it's a little bit different in that this is all around me is all farmland, which is really weird. And then you go 15 minutes that way, you're in a town, and then there's more country for a little bit, just because where we're at is the last place to be developed pretty much in New Jersey, which is kind of weird because well, we came into coming here thinking of like the Sopranos or TV, just North Jersey, where it's all concrete and cars,
Sorry.
the Jersey Shore, yeah. And yeah, so it's been an adjustment. It sucks being further away from a big city. It makes things a little more out of reach, which is kind of surprising. At least one with music and stuff. But uh, I think it's just paving your own way, figuring it out. But yeah, it's probably it's more country here, surprisingly.
With your music and starting to record and stuff, like what do you say makes it or breaks it for you too?
Makes it or breaks it. Uh, if I get tired of hearing a song before I have better ideas for it, then I'll leave it alone.
Do you think that is good once you're done leaving it alone, or do you think that you're like, ah, fuck that song
Uh,
now? Because I
you
have a
know,
love-hate relationship with all songs. I feel like right now.
yeah, that's how I feel that too. I think I like to come back to stuff. The big thing recently is just I'll put in a tape from 6 months ago, and I'll be like, wow, that was really cool. I don't know why I stopped working on it. So it kind of adds to the bank of stuff you can work from and just uh, keep going, make it sound better, and probably will turn out better if you can remember how it goes or how to play it.
What's like the most important aspect about working on music and art and recording?
Uh, yeah, just it's got to be. Just got to be in the mood, right? Whether that's like you were saying, angry, in love, depressed. It's just I just have to know what I'm going to go for, and half the time it's just
Definitely.
if you come up with something, then it can bring you to that place, which is cool. And and then it becomes easy
So
if you just force something.
here's a funny question now. This is gonna throw you off. Uh, what do you think the meaning of life is?
Uh, Stink. Mm, I guess someone and something you love, and then not dying, not killing yourself, or just
Experience it then. Go through it.
yeah, just like
Whatever the case is.
I don't know. Uh,
It's an essential question.
Yeah, it's just no, and probably knowing what you want is probably the meaning. Like, I mean, it really depends on who you are. But for me, yeah, it's just a purpose. It's been music for a long time, but you obviously get burnt out on that. It can't be your whole identity, but you just need something to keep you busy for could be 20 years, 80 years, however long you live.
Yeah.
Just as long as you're not, as long as you don't think of yourself as a loser, then I think you're good.
All right, so here's one of the good ones. Have you seen anybody good live in New Jersey since you've been out there?
Me and Jake, we saw Daryl Johns. That was a really cool show. Uh, that one was funny because I think that's the only show I've really been to out here. You know the band Black Midi?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I ran into Jordy Greep at that concert and got a picture with
Dang,
him. That was sick. And he was the
cool.
nicest guy. It was kind of crazy. But yeah, Daryl Johns is really cool.
I was
He's
enjoying the vibe. What's your favorite of Montreal song? You have one?
a Montreal song. The one that comes to mind from the gay parade would be like Why the Quail, whatever that one's called.
Nice.
Uh, I really like No Conclusions. That's a really cool one. Uh, Forecast Fascist Future. Uh, what's the and there's some I'll have to send you this. There's some really early 8 track, 4 track stuff from them that you can find on YouTube. And that's some of my favorite stuff. I don't know the titles for the songs because they're all crazy, but all like the entirety of the early 4 track recording, whatever compilation on YouTube's just super inspiring to me. What's yours? Or what do you like right now?
Oh, too tough to answer. uh, Definitely too tough to answer.
I got you.
Because yeah, it's just like on a big, big loaded question. But all right. Well, this is kind of funny actually. Do you remember your dreams?
Yeah, not all of them, but the really good ones. Yeah, I have a lot of for some reason I have a lot of dreams about Africa, and I'm always in Africa. I like the motherland.
So
I
like that's what the reoccurring dream then, huh?
I guess so. Well, it's like I'm just in different scenes, or I'll be. There's one time I was like, it was kind of like Inception, like the layout, but I was at a mall, and then I was walking around the mall, but it was in Africa, and this dude just started talking to me, and I guess in African language, it was just like whoa, 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 like not even on some
Dream,
racist shit.
dream language.
Yeah, just some like he was just making noises at me, and then that was the extent of that. There's some dreams with real life people. There's one where I was just in the sea, and there's a bunch of islands, and it was just swimming from party to party. Uh, that was a fun one.
Are you a video game person?
I started playing games again. I Nintendo and PC, I guess, are what I like.
What would be your go-tos?
The Binding of Isaac.
Finding. Okay.
Always liked Terraria. Mario Kart. I play that shit kind of a lot, or I was when I was visiting Texas. I don't have a Switch here, and
I play some Switch too.
I like it. It's a good console. Um, I don't know. I pretty much just play one or two games. Can you hear the bee thingy? Do you play games?
Whenever I can. I'm like, and I have Xbox and the PlayStation 4 right now, but I play mostly Xbox, but I do go to PlayStation 4 for specific games, just for like nostalgia stuff. Um,
Yeah.
it's kind of like the main go-to reason. So here's some of the last few questions. What's
Okay.
some of your like favorite pieces of gear?
Pieces of gear. A lot of my stuff. I don't know if it's my favorite. I have the one synth, the Korg Op 6. It's like an FM. It's a newer Korg FM synth. That's really cool. You can make some fucked up noises with that. Obviously, my Strat that I play on pretty much everything, and my multi effects is pretty cool. I just recently started using that for vocals and stuff. It's on the album some, and
Nice.
I like my compression pedal.
What kind of vocal or processor do you use now?
Uh, my friend gave it to me when I was in Texas. It's a Digitech VX 400 for yeah
Yes.
VX 400.
Nice. I used the vocal like 300 whenever I was like 16. My brother-in-law, what became my brother-in-law, gave it to me as a gift. And
Oh
I used
yeah.
it for like ever. I still have it. Um, some of the essential questions too. Whenever it comes to like writing songs too, like do you go for like whenever it comes like your guitar stuff, do you like go for playing guitar and then you find out lyrics later? Or whenever you start playing guitar, do you like start singing along and finding stuff like there with it?
It depends on how hard the guitar part is. I mean, I'll have a little melody in my head, but as far as singing at the same time, if it's too hard, I won't be able to. But I'll have something in mind usually, or I write a lot of stuff on the keyboard. That's a little bit easier. But sometimes you'll have a melody, you'll lay down the track, and you're like, that's a little it's not enough. So you can have however many different melodies or ideas for melodies and do it on the same track, just till it sounds right.
Yeah, I definitely do the funny thing with the overdubbing and then find out like which thing I don't want overdubbed.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know why I did that. Um, all right, so to go with back to some media, this is like more like a funny me question, what's some TV shows and stuff you've been watching? You got anything you've been uh watching or you'd recommend or shout out?
Uh really love the show King of the Hill. That was my favorite as a kid.
All right,
Uh,
given how it does go hard.
uh what else?
They've been trying to show me the thing on guitar, the theme song.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I'm guessing for Dale, since his name's Dale, it's Dale's theme song if he wants like a theme song for his life.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing in Texas pretty much. It's just
Oh yeah.
part of who you are. Uh TV shows. Talking about The Sopranos earlier. I've been watching that White Lotus show on HBO. It's an interesting show.
I've been watching the new season and like I guess the new episode was okay, but still this whole new season is way different than anything else before.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I guess I like the
Maybe it's a different pace.
It might be the pacing because it is pretty slow so far, but I do like Thailand as a theme. I mean, it's cool. A
Yeah,
lot of stuff
yeah,
to work with, especially
yeah. It's great.
like just the Buddhism and the different way of looking at life with the
I
Christian family in that.
I just watched a new UK show about the girl that was the last girl that was hanged in Britain. It's
Was that
pretty.
good?
Oh, it's so good.
What's it on?
Uh, what do they call it? Rape off.
Redbox.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's one of those ones if you're gonna pay for it or find it online. But it's really deep, and I didn't know anything about the story about it. But I guess like whenever she got hanged, um, everybody in her town came to support her and trying to say like if she's gonna stay in prison, just like keep her in prison and remove
Yeah.
conditions and stuff like that. But they were like, no, we're gonna definitely hang her. And because after that they hanged her, they were like, well, maybe we shouldn't be hanging people anymore. So it's kind of
Yeah.
funny how they were like, oh, well, we want to hang this girl. And then they're like, well, maybe we shouldn't be doing that all the time, huh, guys?
So not cool. Yeah. It's pretty fucked up.
I think in
I wonder
America,
what she did.
no, I think in America, people would be like, they would get the option to, you want lethal injection or do you want me to hang you? People would be like, fuck it, hang me.
Yeah. The lethal injection sounds horrifying. I know they just paralyze you. You're not even dead for a little while.
I wondered if they would give you like morphine or any drugs, or they'd be like, "Fuck you, here's some fucking death drug." You know what I mean? You're gonna feel this, bitch.
Give you fat and just
Yeah,
overdose.
it's like the atomic bomb inside your brain. Yeah. So here's something about with your upcoming. You say you have an upcoming show,
Yeah.
and this is like a house show that you're doing. The other bands that you're playing with, do you know? Do you know them?
Uh no. I haven't heard him. It's kind of one of those things. I just haven't checked them out yet. I don't know. I can't give you the names off the top of my head. It seemed cool.
This ain't good. Um. Oh yeah. So here's a funny, Vibe Osmosis question. This one kind of goes back. If you got a memory that you'd like to share, favorite memory or bad memory.
Uh
This could be creative or it could be tied to your life. I've had some people that only want to do creative conversations. So I think that's kind of funny too.
yeah, let's think.
And the last one is going to be about nostalgia.
Okay. So what's the creative one? I guess when I was first starting out doing the music, um, I don't know. Job was a big Job was my first fan. I guess that's a good memory I have from the music. He was the
Hey,
first person to really dig my stuff, which was really cool.
it's amazing. Like, it would be.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, maybe I should hunt down every single person that's ever encountered him, and then I was like, I should rethink my like the steps of this one. It's like a lot of people he's like got in this little web somehow.
Yeah, I know. A lot of it was just the Discord, the but he always liked my stuff and he wasn't afraid to give you criticism for sure. Like if he didn't like something. I know y'all had a funny relationship.
Who would you shout out? You got any
He was
shout outs?
uh Ashton, heroin parent, spirit navigator, dusk function,
That's the
world peace. That's my last shout out.
Well, thank you for joining Vibe Osmosis. It's been good chatting with you.
Yeah, thank you. Let me know when it goes up. Had fun.
Yeah, I've been working on this one for a while.
It's a long one.
It's a good one.
Well, thank you.
Last night, you with my girl now. She's just like me, so how can it be? She's in love with herself now. I'll never let it end. Walls saying you're okay. Why is it always in this way? Might be a fool, but I'll never choose her again. Corner, writing a love song for you. I do. Back in the dark days, they wouldn't let me love you. So true. She storms out to the front porch. I feel so down. I feel so down on myself. I would never feel lonely if you really do. If you really said that I do. Those were the days, now her face is blue. I never asked her what I could do. Those were the days, but I'm glad you're my best friend. But what can I do for a heart so true? Last days after the burnout, said she couldn't budge. Last night love was the answer, head down in my hands. Head in the wall saying you're okay. Why is it always in this way? Might be a fool, but I'll never choose her again. Those were the days, now her face is blue. I never asked her what I could do. Those were the days, but I'm glad you're my best friend. Some don't walk fast, it breeds road. Never got the chance to tell you how I feel. Let's be the streets and dewdrops. Young George is in the valley, he's pitching up a team for me. We're gonna show the world, time slipping through our fingers, but life still go. Life got short, there's something to go. These memories
This is a big fight.